3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, it's Phantom back here again. This time we're sitting with Peter, aka Slick. I don't know if you know him out there. He's got a bad man apparently. I don't know. So man, how's things going? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Peter, Slick from liaison. StarCraft 2 player, trying to get into Masters at the moment. We're at the Real Gaming event. Unfortunately I fell out. Yeah, got full-time job, part-time job, dad, wife. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Right, so what's your claim to fame?
I've actually done a couple of WCGs. I've qualified for WCG 2007 and 2008, went overseas for that. For Command & Conquer. I've also gone overseas for Crisis, so that's pretty much been my rise to fame in the RTS genre.
Alright, so how did you hear about the Real Gaming competition?
Actually, by RSC the first time. It was posted on the StarCraft 2 channel. I had a look over there, looked at the website, saw there's a fairly decent prize pool, and just basically signed up and took it from there.
Alright, so what's your thoughts on the level of competition you faced so far?
Stiff. I think the top 10 in South Africa is still very much mixed bag. I don't think there's any one best person. I feel that there are a lot of players that have got a lot more talent than they let themselves exploit. I think a lot of people have got a lot of talent and skill, to become the best, top 5 in the country. So the top 10 is definitely mixed bag. Stiff competition.
Right, so you've mentioned that you've been to multiple WCGs. How is the experience, the competitiveness transferred over to StarCraft 2 for you?
Pretty close actually. If you take Command & Conquer South Africa, the gamer pool was actually quite small. So I mean your top players were about a handful, 5, 6 guys. StarCraft 2 that's not quite the same. You've got an average about 10, 15 guys that are really good, top Masters players. We can compare roughly with the rest of the world. So comparatively speaking for the size of our country. So to compare WCG to the local talent here, I think our guys are doing as best as they can. We need organisations like Real Gaming though to improve competitive gaming.
Alright, so you mentioned you're a Zerg player. What made you choose to play Zerg, one of the hardest races to play since the start?
It's actually quite easy. Zerg's base mechanic is very similar to Command & Conquer. You've got multiple production structures that produce units. And the way you need to expand constantly. Command & Conquer was also pretty much a macro-based game where you had to constantly expand to keep your production up and running. So the macro style of Zerg very much matches that of CNC, so it's easier for me to transition into that than, say, Protoss or Terran.
Alright, so how do you think the event has been on the whole?
Pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Amount of people at pitch was a little bit of a letdown. We had a lot more people registered than actually obviously pitch. So it was a little bit of a letdown, but I mean, Warren and the guys have done a stellar job in the time that they've been here. I mean, the paint job's awesome, and organisation, and the willingness to help and remove the problem's been awesome.
Alright, so what advice would you give to the organisers if you had to give them any advice?
Play more.
Organisers.
Oh, organisers. If I had to give any advice, I would probably say advertise a little bit earlier, be more forthcoming on the website with information. I mean, it is their portal after all to the community. People can only see what they put on the website. I'm in the fortunate position where I've got Warren's cell phone number, so if I want to ask him something, I can phone him, but I mean, other people might not have that.
Yes, alright, so any last minute shout outs or piece of advice?
I'd like to thank my team, xTc. It was a total chaos for supporting me during the event. I'd like to thank Real Gaming for hosting the event, and thanks to you guys for interviewing me.
Alright, thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.
Stay tuned.